Hey guys, and welcome to another Interstellar Modeler. This is now part 1 of my Bandai BB8 model kit. So you can see I've already started the process here, but the model comes obviously with a lot of different panel lines throughout the body and the dome of the droid. And in order to accent them, I decided to go ahead and try this solution here by Tamiya called a panel line accent color. Now there is another video, I mentioned this also in the preview video, that you can find on YouTube. It's a speed view video of the building of a BB8 kit, and that's where this idea came from. It looked fairly easy to darken up the panel lines by using this solution. So it's very simple to do. All you do is you take the applicator, because it comes with a little brush applicator already. First of all, you have to shake the solution really well. And all you do is you just touch the applicator to the panel line, and you'll see here in a second that it easily runs down the length of the panel line there. And you will end up with these little blots of excess fluid there. You just allow those to dry, and they wipe away fairly easily with some lighter fluid. So let me go ahead and demonstrate with this piece here, and I'll show you how easy it is to wipe it off. Okay, so we've allowed this to dry. As you can see, there's a bit of excess here, and we have to take that away. And what we're going to do is just use a little bit of lighter fluid. I got this stuff at 7-Eleven, and just apply a little bit to a towel, and you'll see it's fairly easy to wipe off the excess. So you can see we have a big area here we have to wipe away. You can see it just comes right off. And we have this area here. Easily wipes away. Alright, so as I'm waiting for these to dry, I wanted to make a couple of comments here. After applying the accent color to the panels that I showed you just previously here, I went online to describe what I had been doing and just to make some comments about using the Tamiya accent color. And a number of modelers told me that they had some very bad experiences using this particular solution as well as other enamel solutions on Bandai kits. They told me that the solution caused the plastic to crack and they had all sorts of issues. And needless to say, I started to panic, but there was nothing I could do since the stuff was already applied to those panels, and I just waited a couple days to see what would happen, and just crossing my fingers, and nothing happened. So I'm not sure if they're utilizing a different plastic with this particular model, but there really doesn't seem to be any issue with utilizing this panel accent color. Now, I do want to say, too, that you can certainly use a wash, and that's what I would typically do. However, after watching a few videos with this accent color, I saw how easily the solution would seep into the panels and distribute evenly. And that's the problem I've had with washes in the past, is getting the color to distribute evenly to get a nice, even panel line. So, as you saw with the demo, this stuff seems to work really well to do that. And again, I don't see any issues with applying this to this model kit. So what we have here now are pictures that were provided by modeler Carson Ward, and I promise I will show you his build. It is amazing. So let's go over these pictures in detail. Alright, so we're going to start at the dome here, and you'll notice that he used all 3mm LEDs for most of these, except with this section here. So in the dome we've got a 3mm red for the eye, and we have a blue and a white. We've got a blue and a white here for the side of the dome. We've got a 3mm red here, and illuminating that square up above is a 3mm white, which he advises, by the way, to cut a few more holes in that square to add for better illumination. And we've got a 3mm for this slit here, another one there. We've got a red and a blue for these square lights here. We have a 3mm white and red for this section, and there looks to be one up there as well. 3mm for these 4 slits here. And he hid the on and off switch in this tray, which I think is a good idea. Now in this section he used an SMD for these here. He has a red, a blue, and another red. And also one picture that is missing here is that little flame that BB8 has at the end of his arm there. He illuminated that with an SMD blue. So as I mentioned, the switch is down there, but the battery is hidden in the dome, and he advises just to leave the dome just leave it free from any glue. That way you're able to lift it off and have access to the battery. And that's good because that'll make the model self-contained. Now the other thing I did before we move on here was I just wanted to say that I added a dull coat to all of the pieces that I've worked on so far, and I figured having a flat finish will be good for us here as we get into more weathering. So the next step will be to go ahead and start assembling the support structure for the interior. So there are basically 4 pieces. We're going to start here with pieces G1 and H2, and then the other 2 slide in this way. And you can see this is the structure then that the panels will all attach and slide onto. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and actually use Carson's pictures here as a guide, and the first panel we're going to work with now is this one here. Now as you notice, he used 3mm LEDs for pretty much the entire model, with the exception of this area here and that little flame. But as I look at some of these areas here, they look fairly small, so what I did was I took the liberty of ordering both SMDs and 3mm LEDs. It's good to have those on hand anyway, so I have the option of using both. So as we look at our first piece here, this is piece number J2, and that's this piece right here. And again, it corresponds to this light here. You can see this is the area where we're going to be placing the light. There's a clear piece that mounts behind the opening there, and this is a chip size SMD from ModelTrainSoftware.com. So what I like about SMDs is they're fairly flat and flush, especially with tight spaces. Now there's more than enough space for sure to put a 3mm if you had to, obviously, but you can see here it will fit fairly flush into that section, and we won't have to deal with a larger bulb there sticking out or protruding. So let's see if this is bright enough to light this up. So there's some sunlight coming into the garage, so just bear with me, but you can see the SMDs lit up here, and it looks bright enough for what we need here. Now there is some light coming through the plastic, so we're going to have to light block. Alright, so before we do anything else, I'm going to go through all the different panels and look at the areas that we'll be lighting. And most likely we'll have the same problem where you'll get some light leakage through the plastic. So in order to prevent that, I'm going to use this fabric paint. If you're not familiar with this or have not seen any of my other videos using it, this is a fabric paint by Tulip, and it's just a thick paint that really does a good job with preventing light blocking. So when you are lighting your models, of course light blockage is essential. If you've not worked with this stuff before, Tulip paint is ideal for this. You can try just regular black paint, however it's just not thick enough, and as you can see this stuff comes out fairly thick. So it does take a little bit of time to dry. What's nice is that the bottle comes with this needle nose applicator. I learned it the hard way. When you don't light block properly, that light will leak through that plastic, and it doesn't even have to be in a super dark room for you to notice that, and it just ruins the effect. So it looks like a bit of overkill here, but I just want to be sure that we're not getting any likely leakage at all, and I figured since I have to wait for this area to dry, I might as well just apply it around the entire section. Alright, so here we have all our pieces light blocked now. Just got to give it some ample time to dry, and we'll get back to it. Alright, let's go ahead and see how well we've done with our light blockage. And you can see now there's no light leakage here. So you just got to make sure that you test this out. Just be sure that you've got your areas covered here. The line that you see out here is the panel line on the exterior. So the way I'm going to mount the SMD is like I've done in the past, to a piece of styrene plastic, and we'll fit this over into the center of our clear piece there and glue it into place. Okay, so here I have our first panel completed. We've got the gray and white pieces combined now, and you can see the light is shining through. And let me just show you the back side here. So it works out nicely to attach that SMD to this white piece of styrene. That way it allowed me to secure it into place by just adding some cement here and here. Once that hardened, I decided to use some hot glue just to give us a bit more stability, so I added some hot glue here on the sides as well as down here. I thought I would secure the wire down here because that way, as we're attaching the rest of it to the other LEDs, if we happen to pull on it, we won't add any stress to the attachment point. So this is pretty much the method I'm going to follow when it comes to mounting the SMDs. Alright, so let's move on to the next panel, and we're going to work now with piece J1, which is this panel right here. Alright, so obviously we can use either the SMDs or LEDs here, and this is what's included in the piece. You have this main panel, but you also have these red and blue clear pieces here that will slide into these slots. So if you were to do this with 3mm LEDs, you're going to have to position them side by side here and build a separation. However, what I'm going to try again are the SMDs. Okay, so just as with our other SMD, we're going to go ahead and mount it to a piece of styrene plastic here that's been cut to the same length as our clear piece. This is the red piece. And the SMD will be placed about right there, and we'll be able to position it where it should be. And that should work out, so let's go ahead and give it a shot. I did make a minor modification to the clear pieces, cutting a little groove here with my Dremel just to allow for the wire. Okay, and this is how it looks like now with the lights on. I did sand the tops of the clear pieces just a little bit with some fine sandpaper just to diffuse the light a bit. Okay, next piece I'm going to work on is this piece J4, and these have these 4 slits here that are blue, and it comes with this blue piece here. And so here's the actual part, and you can see the blue piece has been installed. What I did was I modified this as well. I used my Dremel to cut a little groove here because we're going to use a 3mm LED for this one. So the plan is to go ahead and mount the LED into that slot, and the LED will float about right here. So I'm going to go ahead and secure it now with some super glue, and let's see how it looks. Okay, as you can see, we have the 4 openings illuminated now, and I apologize, I did mean to show you what the LED looked like when it was dried and fitted into place there, but I decided to try to test fit it into this piece here because I was a bit concerned that maybe it protruded a bit too much and it wasn't going to rest nice and flush into the orange piece. Once I slid it in, however, I couldn't take it back out. So I did want to point out, by the way, that the LED I'm using here, again, is a 3mm LED, but it's also a blue LED. I did experiment and see what a plain white one would look like because it does come with this blue plastic, but it's just not, the plastic when illuminated with a white LED looks a bit faded, and so to get a more rich color of a blue, it's best to use a blue LED. Now on screen here, as I'm looking at it on video camera, it actually even looks faded from what it does in person. It is a darker blue in person. Alright, so we're done with this piece. Let's go ahead and move on. The other thing I can show you here is I did drill a hole on the back side of this here to accommodate the wires. So the next panel I was going to work on was this one here, but there's some minor modifications I need to make, so I'll fill you in on those shortly. In the meantime, let's go ahead and move on to this panel here. So we have this illuminated square here with a white LED, and then we've got this red light here as well. So this is the piece here. And the first thing we need to do is to add a few more holes in this one. It first just comes with 2 holes in this section, and you can see there's the rectangular ones, top and bottom there. But I decided to go ahead and drill in a few more with a pin vise, and I'd highly recommend doing that versus trying a Dremel. The Dremel would be spinning too quickly and it would melt the plastic there. So this is all set to go. We've got our red clear piece put in place there, which I'm going to mount an SMD inside that one as well. So let's get started. Ship-sized SMD down here. And then all we're going to do is essentially apply some super glue here and slide that plastic piece underneath it and just let it dry. Alright, and we're simply just going to lift this up a little bit and slide a piece of plastic right underneath it. Now you can make this dry a little faster by adding some of this Instaset stuff here. This is an accelerator, Just add just a tiny drop there. Just dab off some of the excess with a Q-tip. Okay, just go ahead and peel away the tape here. And it's good to go. Now, because the wire is feeding this way, I do have to cut a little bit of a groove here, again, to allow for the wire to feed through. So we're going to cut a groove right there. Alright, well, before we go ahead and move any further with mounting this in place, I need to go ahead and paint this compartment, so I might as well do it now. And I'm going to go ahead and try for the first time an acrylic metallic paint, and this is by Vallejo. I'm going to use this gunmetal, and then I will dry brush some lighter silver paint in there as well. Alright, so here we have the interior compartment. I apologize, I did not tape this. I will record when I paint a couple of the other parts that need to be done the same way. So essentially the process of doing this is first applying flat black, letting that dry, and then over that I applied the Vallejo gunmetal, allowed that to dry, and then I used this Starship wash here just to kind of give it a grimy look. And after that dried, I finally applied the Vallejo silver in with a dry brush. And that allows you to attain these scratched surfaces like that. And this is the cover that goes to it. Okay, well, for this panel, I'm also mounting the light into the orange piece. Alright guys, this is the panel completed now, and the one thing I would not repeat if I were to do this again would be to not drill any more holes here. This piece comes with a slit at the bottom and at the top. My intention was to allow a little bit more light to shine through around that square, but I don't know, it doesn't quite look right, so I wouldn't do that. Another thing to make note of is this compartment. This door opens and closes, and in order for it to rest flush up against the rest of the panel, this entire assembly actually slides downwards and into the compartment, and in order for it to open completely, it slides back up again. Now, the one decision for me to make is whether or not to light that arm that extends with the little flame. I think I'm not going to do that. Keeping it this way will allow me to display the model with or without that arm in place, and I think I want that option rather than to have it permanently attached. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because it's getting a little long. We will pick up then in part 2 and finish assembling the body and move on to the head. Now, as promised, I'm going to show you Carson Ward's model. You'll see it how the model looks completely lit, and he did attach the arm permanently there, and that's what he decided to do, was to light that blue flame. But you'll see it's an excellent build, and he did really a nice job with detailing it. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you then in the next one. Feel free to contact me on my YouTube channel here or at innershadowmonitor@gmail.com if you have any questions. Thanks, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.